gentleman from Utah, Mr. Curtis. You're recognized for 5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, Madam Secretary. Like my colleagues, I enjoyed serving with you here and co-chairing the Public Lands Subcommittee. Let me bring up a difficult issue. Shortly after your appointment, you and I found ourselves on a different side of a very contentious issue in the state. For those of you who are not familiar, it was the Bears Ears land designation. Just quickly, round one of the designation was President Obama designated 1.3 million acres as a monument. Round two was President Trump repealing that designation. Round three, which is where you came in, is President Biden reestablishing those boundaries. Now, this may be an oversimplification, but the argument in essence was we must do this to protect and preserve this area. We don't trust the state, we don't trust the county, we don't trust the elected officials to do this, as they have done it for many, many decades. We have to do it here from Washington, D.C. Today, there is far more looting, far more grave robbing, vandalism in this area. Today, and by the way, I want to preface all of this with your agents, your BLM folks on the ground are amazing. We love and appreciate them. I don't want to diminish them in any way. But not a single penny of resource has been sent their way after this 1.3 million acre designation that the federal government took on as a responsibility to preserve and protect. At the time of the designation, there were 2 BLM agents, law enforcement agents, that patrolled that area. Today, I could be wrong, but I think there are 2 agents managing, imagine, 1.3 million acres. Today, not a single sign has gone up, not a single fence has gone up, nothing is any different, except for the fact that the monument designation brought the attention to the world of this area, and now they're coming, and we don't have the resources to protect this. Your budget, if I read it correctly, has $3 million for every single brand new designation across the country. How in the world does the federal government propose to do what it said it was going to do when it made this a monument designation and took the stewardship away from the local people?
Congressman, thank you very much for the question, and you're absolutely right. As we've been discussing, there is a shortage of staff, particularly in the West.
But it's not staff, it's budget. Like, you don't even have the budget if you had the staff.
This
is pre-budget, this is not counting any budget cuts or anything. This is like the federal government made a decision several years ago to designate this as a 1.3 million acre monument to preserve it, and has not even tried to put resources in to do that. And the argument on the ground is, by the way, we're doing that quite well as local and state government. We feel like we preserved and protect that area in a magnificent way. And now the federal government's taken it over without adding any resources. How do we justify that? How do I go back to these people and say, the people who thought they knew better than you, who thought they were better stewards than you, have ignored you and have not done anything in this area?
I absolutely appreciate your comments, Mr. Curtis. I will absolutely take those to heart and have discussions with my staff at the department. I understand your concerns, and they're my concerns as well.
Well, I know you well enough to take that quite sincerely. I want you to know that means a lot to me that you would make that commitment. And I think we as lawmakers and policymakers need to understand it's not as easy as waving a wand and protecting all of this area because we've designated it. We've got to, that comes with a tremendous responsibility. We're taking that responsibility away from the state, and we're going to take that. And I think when we make these decisions, we've got to go, like, we've got to step up for that, right? If we really want to preserve and protect this area in a way that it was different than before. So thank you for your commitment. We'll take you up on that. Let me switch gears just quickly. Almost 20 years after the passage of the Energy Policy Act of 2005, it's Title V on Indian energy. We still do not have enough petroleum engineers, geologists, and staff within the Bureau of Indian Affairs to support development of Indian energy resources. As you know, I have 5 tribes in my area, particularly the Utes and the Navajos. These are not gaming tribes. They rely on natural resources. What steps can we take in Interior to bring more energy experts into the Bureau of Indian Affairs?
I appreciate that comment as well, and I take it to heart, Mr. Curtis. We will I'll take that back. We'll have a discussion on it. It will be,
Would love to look with your team on
Absolutely.
my tribes and be an asset and help them because, as you well know, it's a difficult lot moving forward in many of these cases, and would love to team with you on that. And thank you for coming today.
absolutely. And thank you as well for caring about the tribes in your state, and we'll absolutely be in touch. Thank you.
Thanks, Madam Secretary. I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. The chair